Oh, wow. Hi.
Hey, hi.
You know, we forgot to announce our last episode was episode 12. This is our mini episode 12.
Yeah.
Our little mini.
Zap that into my
micro.
brain.
Hey.
So it's over here.
Back at it again.
I'm back at it. So, well, if you didn't know, we so our 12th episode, I was talking about
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, and
the author.
The author
really
of
good. Brilliant.
Harry Potter.
Creative genius.
Not only Harry Potter. She has a crime series under a pseudonym, Robert
Which I can't wait
Galbraith.
to read. Yeah.
And her last one was just out in 2023. Mm-hmm. So this is something I think it was 2013, didn't we say? That she was started that series.
Which is amazing because married, 3 children, writing all these great books. I had one child and I couldn't do anything.
I know, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
So that's why I'm dressed up. No, I know I'm sexy enough to be like Britney Spears with a little schoolgirl look, you know, but it's really Harry Potter.
So
See?
much. She's got a tie.
There you go.
Today,
anyway,
Cheryl Ann's presenting this mini, and I'm interested in hearing about it.
Procrastination.
And I'll chime in when I can.
Yeah, there we go. So why I picked this particular subject to talk about procrastination
right.
is that for you that don't know, you know that I'm going through a 12-week year program through Turn the Dial Coaching, which
12-week year. What is
12-week year. I'll explain. Just but with Scott and Renee Comey.
Okay.
So they are Turn the Dial Coaching.
Okay.
So now I squirreled on the name of the guy that wrote the book. So the premise is getting more done in 12 weeks than the whole year. So a 12-week year. So it's like having I'm trying to do the math on that, like having you break it down to where your whole year is basically in 12 weeks, getting more done. So it's not literally that you have to do it all in 12 weeks, but the premise is jump-starting and laying out your goals and acting on them and getting things done. So the first quarter, the first 3 months, you're ahead of the game. The reasoning for that is a lot of companies will, in this book, they'll talk about like, we'll break it out by quarters and then see where we're at in second quarter, and then by the time the like third and fourth quarter are coming around, you don't have time to react to what you need to do. So that's kind of the premise of making it more time sensitive. Because if you say, that's okay, this is only my first quarter, like schooling, I can make it up second quarter, third quarter. Sure. So it's changing that mindset and getting more, that's the way I take it anyway. Getting it, and that's, there's a lot to this whole, I know, I'm squeaking. No, squeak. I'm trying
to squeak back.
I know.
Communication.
So exactly, squeak. I should have brought the book, but I didn't think about that because we're going to have procrastination. But it's all in that premise. So the great thing about this program is, you're writing down, like what are some health goals, what are some work goals, and what are some you goals. I mean, that's the way we broke it up. So
I like that.
My health goals are drinking water. Okay, ignore the coffee mug.
Coffee.
This
is coffee in a podcast. We didn't call it drinking agua, drinking water.
Agua coffee. No, agua coffee. Anyway, so drinking my water, I'm doing great at that every day. She will contest. Heather and Chu, I drink 12 ounce in a month, I swear, is what I used to be, but now I'm getting 64 ounces in a day.
Oh, I can't do
which is great. And then you think I drink a lot of coffee.
Explode, though.
No, it won't, because the caffeine already robs you of water, so it dehydrates you. So
you still don't want to drink too much.
No. I'm not one of those people that carry those gallons of waters around and does that.
Because you can explode.
Well, you can oversaturate your body for sure. But I trust me, I'm not at that point.
Okay.
But thank you.
Good to
know. Appreciate that. And then not eating after 7, and then exercise has been a hard one because recently, if you guys have been following around on my personal Facebook, learning that, my blood pressure is a little bit elevated. And so I'm trying to figure out what to do to naturally
bring things.
Right, which exercise does. Yeah. Right. But then it goes into like my work goals, and then it goes into my personal goals, like personal goals are the podcast and doing my yesterday and day stuff. Anyway, so we're down to only 3 weeks left, and I'm like, snap, I'm not where I want to be, because the cool thing with this, because it's a program that I paid for, I have access for the whole year, which is great, not just the 12-week.
Right.
You actually put in the numbers, like, did you do it or not? And each segment, like grouping of things, 20% or 40% or 86%, and then you get an overall for the score for the week, and then you have your black line. Well, that black line, I'm only hovering at 51%. So I've had some real struggles.
Yeah, I have mixed emotions about that, though.
Well, and I'll tell you, I'm not totally negative on myself. I'll tell you why.
Okay, good.
Because I am 12 weeks ahead of where I was last year.
Okay.
I am already getting these really good habits.
Okay.
I have incentive to push myself forward and get better, because I'm only in competition with myself.
Right.
I need to remind myself, as I look at the people that are 86% black line, they chose different things. I did put a whole lot on my plate, and that's what happens.
I hope you're 100% at podcast.
And I am 100% at the podcast, absolutely. So, we had 2 times that we didn't. Remember, I couldn't count.
Oh, come on!
But we have been 100%.
Yeah, but we are entitled to vacations and breaks, so I think you're 100%.
Oh, that's true.
We all get sick days.
Well, because we still do the homework, so maybe I'll go back and put that in the
I think she should, because we still do our homework. We're still reading. We're still researching.
This is true.
And we get days off,
No, this is true. This is true.
So I think you're 100%.
Look at that program I have. So it's taken me a while to get where I'm going. So bear with me, people. So within that, I had Brian Buffini. He is an awesome coach. He has his own Brian Buffini, huge coaching company. He's out of Scotland. And one of his podcast came up on procrastination. So I was listening to it on my morning drive, and all of a sudden I had an aha moment.
Tell me.
And it goes into personal. That's why I've got my tissue. So what they were saying, what he was saying, and I didn't realize that, and that's why I have some quotes here. Procrastination is also a fear of success.
Sure.
So I know in the sense of it's like, you don't, like, you've got a big book report and you don't want to do it, and you're procrastinating and pushing it off, taxes, or, because it's going to take a lot of your mind and stuff like that. But I didn't associate it with being a fear of success, that you're afraid of success. So where I went with this in my brain is back to, where I think I've been sabotaging myself all along.
So is this coming back to early trauma in your life?
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of you don't know. Yeah, a lot of you do not know that. So I have 3 living brothers, and I have a deceased brother. He was 14 and a half when he passed away in 1976. Well, what happened was we were always taught, parents were out doing, my dad had the day job and then would do night stuff. He had his own appliance company, appliance repair. Him and mom were out. We were never to go out. Lock the doors, you never go out. So we used to live on a very, very busy street. It was a freeway. It was 55 miles an hour. And we lived next to these people that owned a dog. His name was Schultz. He was a pointer, and I had no fear of this dog because I didn't know to be afraid of this dog. So that's kind of interesting, right there. We had our own dogs, and I just never thought that was a problem, right?
Right.
So long story short is the neighbors asked me to bring in their mail because they're going to be gone for a couple days, but the dog was going to be there, and the dog had food or something like that. So I'm like 12 and a half. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm really cool. Yeah. I get to go lock it up. They didn't ask my brother. neener. His best friend lived next to us on the other side, and he was over and went and got the mail, put it in the house, and I couldn't get the door locked. Mm-hmm. So then I called my brother, hey, can you come help me? He's like, no, you were the big shot that wanted to go lock it up. You just give me crap, right? Mm-hmm. So then I call him crying, and I'm like, I can't figure this out. I can't get it locked. Can you please come over and help me? Well, in the meantime, the dog had run to the back of the house because the dog could go anywhere. He was obviously off leash and not very well contained.
Was he outside of the house or in?
He was outside.
Okay.
So they let him out.
Okay.
So he can come and go and do whatever. I don't know if there was a doggy door. I really don't know. So, because I'm 12 and a half.
But he wasn't fenced in?
Well, they had a fence in the back, but he wasn't fenced in.
Okay, got it.
Or he could get out. I really don't know that part because he was always out. Because we always
and
had
you were
him
young. You had a 12-year-old brain.
Yeah, 12-year-old brain. So the dog all of a sudden comes ripping around from the back of the house, and he goes right for my brother's feet. And I know this is hard for you to hear because I know she's had incidences with dogs too. It's not fun. So my brother freaks out, which it's understandable.
Yeah.
He turns around, he runs out the driveway, and so I think he's just going to run home, right?
Right.
Well, the fear made him go straight out into the freeway.
Oh, God.
Got hit in a car. So, I mean, to this day, I can still see him on the car, looking my way. That wasn't the thing that killed him, is when they jammed on their brakes, when they understood what was happening, he was thrown, he hit the curb, and so he had water on the brain. So, and then later he died. The doctor said, you got to make a decision. You have to, pull the plug. And my mom's like, no, I won't do that. I'm a spiritual person. If God wants to take him, God will take him.
Yeah.
And God took him.
Yeah.
So then we had to go through, my parents sued because that dog had a long rap sheet of pulling kids off bikes. And we're talking like 15 years worth of that dog not being a good dog. The dog never was put down, but I was in and out of court testifying, 12 and a half, not knowing what's going on. They're twisting everything I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I later forgave the people because that's my faith, because I was having really big struggle with this, right?
Sure.
Which was controversy with my parents. My parents were like, how can you because they were in their state of mourning of their son.
Yeah.
So the long story short, my brother was amazing. Oh my gosh. We often called him like the adopted child because he had this red strawberry blonde curly hair.
Wow.
None of us had that. I had an amazing smile. And if you go up on my Facebook, you can see it. He could draw. I still have drawings of his. Wow. He could play guitar by ear. He was so good looking. I mean, he had so many admirers, right? Yeah. So here, I'm already being bullied in school to say lay down because the buck teeth. I'd wear these fur coats, and so I'm being bullied. Love my dad, but my dad, the way he grew up, I think he was trying to make us better people, but he'd be like, why'd you do that? That was so stupid. Right. So laying the picture where my mind is, the 12 and a half year old, I'm just killed my brother is the way I'm seeing it.
Because so if I would have a lot of childhood trauma.
A lot of guilt. Yeah. If I would have just stayed home, like my parents said.
Right.
Not went outside, my brother would still be with us. So I have that. I have my dad. I have, being bullied, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
How does that tie into your...
So this ties into...
Interesting.
I don't find myself... I know this is where this is going. I don't find myself worthy of the success. Oh, so somehow I'm mentally sabotaging myself through forms of procrastination without really realizing it. All of a sudden hit me while I was driving.
I'm not worthy of this because this is what I did in my childhood. And
how can I be living such a successful life when my brother's
passed away?
So that's the way.
That's a lot of guilt. That's a lot of trauma. I would say counseling for sure.
Sure. Oh, I went through counseling, but I never talked when I was a kid. And I didn't understand any of that till about 20 years ago.
You can still go back and talk about
sure,
it.
Sure.
And I mean, because we all work through guilt or shame or things that have happened to us when we're 12, 16, 18, 24.
Sure.
And I think it's good to keep talking about it
until
you clean that out, till you just are so sick of talking about it. Like right now, just keep talking about it until your heart is at peace, your spirit is at peace, because what we've done in our past does not define us.
Correct.
So.
Well, I thought I'd been doing a good job. Yeah, I thought I'd been doing a good job. And then
but apparently not.
There's something still lingering there, because here,
and that's okay.
Procrastination.
At least you acknowledge it. You're like, you went, okay, this is why I'm procrastinating. This is why I feel like I'm not successful yet, because I'm not worthy of it, because look what I've done in my past. And it's like, it's not your fault. That is the laws of the universe. And it's not your fault.
No, I know.
And you get help and you talk about it, because, and anyone out there who needs help, it's a good idea to talk about it.
Absolutely.
We're definitely pro therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're all worthy of success. And and I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's
I just
a lot of trauma.
Didn't realize that, because
you
had
an epiphany.
Yeah, I had an epiphany, that aha moment.
Yeah, that's right.
We that like procrastination because you don't want to do something, but it's also on being perfect. You don't want to do it because there's that perfectionism that went with it.
Sure, okay.
So this one was a great quote. This one's actually by Dennis Waitley.
Okay.
And it says, procrastination is the fear of success. People procrastinate because they are afraid of the success that they know will result if they move ahead now. Because success is heavy, carries responsibility with it, it's much easier to procrastinate and live on the someday philosophy.
Sure.
So, I just didn't resonate that. So I have just a couple ones. Procrastination makes easy. Sorry, I'm having a hard time here. Procrastination makes easy things hard. See, I'm not reading it right. And
procrastination makes things easy, things hard, hard things harder.
There you go.
So, in other words, we're putting it off, and it just makes everything harder.
Exactly. So, like, do your taxes, people.
So you're like, just get it done.
Get it done and get it over with. And that's what the whole thing is there. Why did I do two of them?
Okay.
And then from Charles Dickens, procrastination is the thief of time.
Oh, wow. I need to sit and think on that one, because we only have so many years and we think we have all the time in the world to get things done.
Exactly.
And lately I've been doing things that I want to do finally, because my philosophy is I've only got X amount of good years left if I'm able. I mean, if I'm fortunate.
Right.
So and when I want to do something, I just really do it.
And that's really the best way to live life, is just do it well.
Just
don't get into debt. I mean, just
don't
be responsible with that.
Yeah, don't get into
just
debt.
Just do it. Don't wait till I'm going to go to the beach of
like someone was telling me, like Cheryl Ann, I want to do a podcast. Oh, what's that like? Oh, how do you do it? And we're like, we don't know. We're just doing it. Exactly. And my friend's like, oh, they have a class for that. I'm like, they do? You didn't go to school for this?
We're going to the Iris and Cheryl Ann class of podcasts.
Exactly. It's like, we're very good at jumping in. And I think that you'll work through those things. I do. I think you will. Because it's not your fault. It's really not your fault.
No, it took me a long time.
Yeah.
So I have, like you said, I got to a point where I started talking about it probably about 20 years ago.
Good.
Or less, maybe. Maybe 21 years ago. To where I wouldn't just like break down every single time.
Sure. No, it's good to get it out there.
Talking about it.
Yeah. And then I don't want to talk about mine, but there was a lot of shame in my life, and I was a young child. It wasn't my fault. And I did go to a lot of therapy for it, and I did break down a lot, and I did think about it a lot. And at the end of the day, it's not my fault. I mean, I was a child.
Right.
Things happen.
And that's what my dad said. He goes, I just told him the week before not to be afraid of dogs.
Right.
So he said, that wasn't your fault. I said, yeah, but I
went
against the rules and I called him over. And he's like, you didn't make the decision to run out in the street and all of that. So procrastinate.
So don't procrastinate.
So write down the things that you really are stuck on doing. Yeah. And then focus on those first. And get those hard things out of the way.
My philosophy.
Because then I've been doing that, but that's just in certain fields in my work, I've realized that I'm not holding myself where I should be. So it just all brought, and I highly encourage people to do like a list. Do a 12-week, get the book, the 12-week year.
If you need that. I mean, some people need lists. I like lists. I don't always have a list, though.
I love lists.
I can pretty much just say, if I want this, I have to do this.
Right.
If I want to get my homework done, I have to sit and read. I have to carve out the time for my research. I mean, for me, in my mind, I'm able to go through my mental checklist. Sometimes I need to write down basic, small things. But for me, I'm glad that you need that list. I don't need that list.
I love a list because it makes me feel happy.
No, I love lists too. No, don't get me wrong. I'm always got a list.
Because I get too much up there.
But mine is usually small stuff, petty stuff, like, go to
the store.
Yeah.
Buy gas.
Whatever. Buy this. Buy that. Do this.
Exactly.
But for the big things for me, I'm good at like funneling that and saying, nope, I got this. I got this. That's another good thing for procrastination. Like I do a little chant. I got this. I can do this. Do whatever works for you. Whether it's the list like you need, that big list and holding yourself accountable. A lot of people do need that.
Well, but the list is also good because that goes into a whole bunch of different books that we won't get into.
Okay.
That's on habits. So that's another thing with the 12-week year.
Right.
Helps you get into good habits so that you're not procrastinating. You're using good use of your time. But then I didn't know procrastination and lateness go hand in hand. So listen to this. I was like, I'm late, So if you have a chance to listen to the podcast from Brian Buffini on procrastination, it was really, really eye-opening. And so that's just something that's near and dear to my heart because I did my aha moment and posted it on
really
on my page and through Brian's thing up there. And I was like, wow, I never really thought I was really... subconsciously sabotaging myself. So I'm like,
thanks for being so vulnerable. That's hard. That's so hard.
Well, I'm crying out there on the Facebook, and people are probably. I mean, it's because that just strikes a chord, but
it does.
I feel like it also
somebody else must coexist not only with that, with guilt and shame, and there's many other components to that as well, Cheryl Ann. It's not just one way. It's
there's a lot of things that go into that. So that might be things that we talk about in the future.
That's right. Yeah, we'll talk about those things in the future.
It's just a good thing to bring out there because we're...
Procrastination. Because we all procrastinate.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have tiny piles of things. I'm like, I must do this. Oh, well, how important is it?
Exactly.
But I get it done, though. I do get it
that's
done.
Great.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my wicked personality of like... my obsessive compulsiveness, perhaps, like, okay, everything has a home, or...
Right. Well, see, that's where I was squirreling with that because I have, like, trying to get back into the, we're in the house and trying to go through stuff, and I have so much stuff on the list that I feel like I make excuses, but that's where all of this kind of came up in the 12th year, and I'm like... Because they're like, well, procrastination is also part of excuses, and I'm like, well, wait, how much? Where can I borrow an extra 10 hours a day? Just so I'm trying to figure out all of that, how you can I can be more effective. Like,
I think that
in 1 week,
you personally having a list and doing block times. Yeah. Like if you do block
time is what I need to really.
You do. You say okay, just like we have our schedule.
So I scroll off.
We have our schedule,
right?
And you and I hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you need to have your mate or your family or your friend say, hey, I need to do this from this time. Make me accountable, or help me be accountable, or something. I don't know.
That's what the whole 12-week year, like, I know there's things I need to do in here, but now that the weather, like we're going to have 63.
She's like, I'm out of here.
I'm going to have to go mow the lawn, and then I need to plant all the flowers that have been there for 2 weeks that are waiting to go in the planters.
Lots of time.
So
just give yourself.
See, I switched it, like where I needed to
reverse it.
Yeah.
Reverse it.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm out here in the yard for this many hours, I'm going to be in there for 20 minutes doing this.
Yeah, that's true.
20 minutes. That's all you need.
So we need to go on a planning. We need to have a whole, because we're 25 minutes into this 10-minute segment.
Yeah, this is our mini episode.
Mini episode that's turning into episode. But it's something, obviously, we've touched on, because there's many forms of procrastination.
Many.
It could be fear. Yeah. It could be, the fear of doing the task. It could be the fear of success. It could be a lot of different things.
I'm just lazy sometimes. I think like,
sometimes lazy is okay.
Or I need to organize my clothes, or I'm just ignoring it. But now you're making me gonna want to go home and do it after I enjoy my day out today, because I am gonna go enjoy.
She doesn't. You do need to enjoy a day out.
But I'm gonna reverse. Like I didn't have anything planned for those things I've been procrastinating, but I'm also pretty good at tasks.
She's really good at getting her stuff done.
Yeah, so I am task masking, because I don't like to be caught not knowing or not understanding.
And I don't like to do that. I don't like to do things last minute. Like sometimes I don't.
I feel too rushed. I feel I just don't feel good when I do that.
Like I felt like I didn't have enough time to do my last podcast person because of just things.
No, this one you just did?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you did. Well, she's good at flying by the seat of her pants, though. I don't have that skill.
But
she does. She's really good at it. I'm not good at it.
But that's where I need to be more disciplined, and I need to not squirrel off is what I guess I'm trying to say. Just to be more effective.
Squirrel away.
Anyway, so don't procrastinate, people. Okay. Get your lists out, write it down, get it done.
At gmail.com.
Like she said, grab a friend, because she has helped me go through my clothes.
Yeah, and I really can. Because I am a taskmaster.
She's really great. And then she would do plant flowers.
I'm not mean.
No, she's not. She's not. She doesn't have to use the one that's over here.
Jesus.
It's way over there.
Keep it over there.
So yeah, go out and have a good day.
Thank you, and
thank
be
you
kind
as always.
to each other. And don't procrastinate. Let us know what you think about procrastination.
And give us your feedback.
Yeah, we want to hear what you do to not procrastinate, because it's a challenge, I think, for everyone.
Exactly. And where are they gonna tell us?
Go to therapy.
No, where are you gonna this is therapy. So it is. Coffee and podcast
is therapy.
at gmail.com.
Thanks so much.
Send us what works for you or what you've been struggling on. We're not licensed therapists.
No, we're not.
Have all the answers, but we can give you friendly advice.
That's right. Tons of disclaimers here.
Lots of disclaimers. But anyway.
Thank you for listening.
Ciao for now.
Bye.